Good morning. Good morning. Good morning in the Pacific Northwest and the Western United States. This is our weekly Give Voice to Your Vision live show, and we're at a special time today so that I can bring you the amazing and fantastically brilliant Jackie Lapin is with us today for a candid interview on the art of speaking, the art of booking speaking gigs everywhere. Jackie has been a friend and a colleague of mine for many years, and she has everything in her beautiful, brilliant mind and in her business that you need to use speaking to share your message with the world and reach and serve more people. And of course, grow your business, grow your income, make your impact. So Jackie, yay, good morning, welcome.
I am delighted to be here, Michelle. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And I love the friendship that we have all these years.
Yeah.
And thrilled that we can kind of help some folks here.
I love it. I love it. So I promised to answer some questions. We're going to dive right into the meat of this. I know that you're a treasure trove of information and inspiration on how do we get speaking. So I'm going to dive right in with your permission. We're going to cover things today. We've got a couple people here. If you're here watching live, comment for me and let me know you're here. That's going to help other people see it. That's your tuition for this free training. And it helps us to help more people. And we also want to know your questions. If you're here inside the Power Up Your Presence group, then you can comment and we'll see your questions and be able to answer them. And that's you're welcome to join if you're watching from YouTube or the business page, hopping into Power Up Your Presence community. And we have a lot to cover today. I promise that we're going to talk about the power of speaking and how speaking can be, I'll say, one of the top most powerful ways to grow your business. We're going to talk about some common pitfalls that people make when it comes to speaking and booking speaking gigs and how to avoid them. Also, Jackie's going to share some tools and what do you need to have in place and how you can actually book speaking gigs everywhere. So we have a lot to cover for you today. Jackie, will you talk a little bit about, the post-pandemic world and what you see, maybe some of the stories you've seen from your clients or some trends that you're seeing in terms of speaking as a tool in today's world. We're not just talking virtually, right? But how is it helping specifically powerful to build your speaking portfolio now?
Well, one of the things that's obviously happened is live is back in a big way.
Yeah.
But what it also means is that a lot of those people that started going virtual during the pandemic have stayed virtual.
Yeah.
So, and then in between, there's something called hybrid, where you're speaking to a smaller group in the room and a larger audience on streaming. So all of those, we have a product called Conference Connections. And I was just looking at the numbers for this particular week. And generally what it's working out to on conferences is about 50 to 60% of it is live, but the other is split between virtual and hybrid. Now, from a local meeting standpoint, local meetings are somewhat reflecting the same. Some of the meetings have stayed virtual. Some of them have actually gone to a hybrid model. I was at an event where I was in a big bank. They were using the bank as their community room and giant screen with the other people coming in from streaming. But there were only 10 of us in the room. But there were like 30 people on the streaming.
Yeah.
And so, there are still different options out there. One, if you have the flexibility to be speaking on any of those, then your opportunities have multiplied. If in fact you are limited to where you want to go, you still have opportunities in virtual. So
massive opportunities, right?
Exactly. And of course, go ahead. Add to meetings, you've got podcasts and virtual summits.
Right.
So that really also, and the other thing that we've seen with TEDx is during the pandemic, TEDx had dropped to about 200 around the US and Canada. They are back to over 550.
Wow.
And this year, when we redo our list in July, we're going to cover the entire world. so that
Nice.
people can get on and, can see what TEDx's are close to them and have a real perspective. And if they're traveling and they want to try to take in an opportunity, get internationally, it's going
Right.
to be fully spelled out.
So, yeah, we're going to tell you guys, Jackie has some amazing resources for you to, like, if you're thinking like, I want to speak, but I don't know how to get gigs, or I don't, have a system dialed in to get them, or I don't know how to get, in the door, or I don't know where I could be speaking. We're going to share, let you know how to access some of the tip of the iceberg with Jackie's resources that she has, because she really does answer all those questions at SpeakerTunity. And she's got some membership options, and there's training, and there's all kinds of done for you, done with you. She's got lots of services available for you. So Jackie, you've been in the speaker world for a long time. Why do you think it's such a powerful tool for growing business?
Well, because it's the fastest and easiest way to get for somebody to know, like, and trust you. Because if they see you individually, they get a sense of who you are. They might even be able to ask questions. They have some kind of intimate connection to you, much more so than seeing an email or hearing you just on on somebody's mastermind. If you have a connection to them,
Yeah.
front and center,
Yeah.
then they're going to want more from you, provided you've obviously seeded the environment for them to want more from you.
Right.
But
The
they get a
art of
sense
it comes
also
in.
of what you're bringing them, and
Mhm.
that they can think, well, if she or he can teach me that much, then obviously there's more to learn, and this would be a great person to
I
follow.
love that. I love that. And speaking is often live. I mean, of course, there's recordings and replays always, but there's that. It's the same reason why I say that I think that speaking and video, especially live streaming, are your superpowers in today's world. And I don't think that they're really optional anymore. Because my frequency factor approach is that your voice, your face, your energetic presence is your biggest business building asset. And when you can stand in the truth of who you are and speak and tell, provide value, inspiration, and you know how to craft that talk so that it's leading people to say, I do want that cool thing that you're offering, or I want to know more. That is an incredible business building tool. And in today's world where there's so much digital noise, I agree with you wholeheartedly that speaking and video, which is what you're talking about with hybrid, right? Being able to engage through that. And that's in this particular art, being able to engage in a room with people here with you and with those people online, right? So there's a lot to it, but it is that no one can ever copy or replace or better your unique energetic presence. So I love that. And the human brain takes the way we remember, Maya Angelou said, people remember the way you make them feel, right? So when you're there and you're showing up and you're speaking in person or virtually, they're remembering the aha or that feeling that they had, and that is irreplaceable. I think it's much harder to do in written copy or other forms.
Well, and I think
Sales pages, right?
I think there's a certain generosity factor too.
Mm-hmm.
When you're generous with your information with somebody,
Yeah.
they feel that. They feel
Yeah.
like you care about them. And that if they continue with you, they're going to be in good hands, somebody that's going to
Yes.
take care of them. And that doesn't come through when you're writing it on the paper. It
Yeah.
could be the same product, same information,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not that sense of, I'm here to help you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think the email can come close, but I don't think that there's any way to replace that, human vibe that we get from our face and our voice, right?
Yes.
I love that. So what are some of the pitfalls that you see either established speakers, people who are speaking make, or people that are just getting started? We can take them one at a time.
Well, there's one mistake that they almost all make,
Uh-huh.
and that is not committing enough time to actually get their gigs, to go out and
100%. I'm guilty.
So here's what you got to do. You've actually got to book 3 hours in your calendar every single week, as if it was a meeting with somebody else. and use that time for nothing else but doing your booking. And that means writing your materials, researching who you want to pitch to, sending those pitches, and doing the follow-up. You really have to have a comprehensive program for booking, because if you don't, if you think, oh, I'm going to get to it this week, you will not. Other things will overtake your time. So if you make that consistent habit, with that meeting in your calendar, you're going to see your bookings really ratchet right up.
So that's brilliant. And that's what I tell people about, having sales conversations and doing their visibility and like building your rhythm for when you're going to do it. And one generic statistic I found years ago was like for accountants, if you want to keep your business the same, you need like 6 to 8 hours of marketing. And if you want your business to grow, you need like 10 to 12 hours of marketing time to implement, to create it, right, in your week. And people either feel like they're marketing all the time or they get stuck behind the scenes. Like, I got to get my website ready before I can do X, Y, and Z. That's so important. And then I would also say, Jackie, like, decide that speaking is one of your core platforms for marketing, right? Like, then it makes sense to have the time, to make the time. And I will tell you, I'm just going to put a plug in here for speaking and video and, in real live implemented visibility. And that is that over digital assets. All right. Your digital assets are important, but they can take you down a rabbit hole. And a lot of people, especially those of us who feel visionary and called and transformational, we feel like we can get lost in trying to get digital assets to convert and click the button to convert. Whereas if we're on a stage or in a room talking to people, that conversion can happen so easily and effortlessly. And so having put speaking as I say you don't need more than 3 main areas of focus in your marketing plan. And I think speaking really needs to be one of those areas.
Well, and I think that one of the things that we've experienced is, people may buy one of our products when they see us the first time, but it usually takes 3, 4, 5, 6 times before they see me, or when they're ready.
Yes.
They actually take, but by the 5th or 6th time they've seen me, they're actually, they're beyond warmed up. They're ready to go. So the more visible you are on different stages, the more likely you are to capture your clients.
I love that. And your confidence is going to grow, and your message clarity will grow. All of those things happen through implementation. In my world, we say transformation happens through implementation or inspired action, right? I love that. So any other warning signs for the person who's like, yeah, I'm thinking about using speaking, what other pitfalls? Is there another recommendation you would make, or something that we can avoid?
I think one of the next one is just the feeling of, I don't know what to either deliver, or I don't know where to find my gigs. Those are the 2 big questions that I hear the most. The beginning folks are looking at, well, what should I deliver? And then the people that are, already on the journey are saying, where can I find my gigs? I don't have the time. And of course, that's one of the reasons we stepped into it. But those tend to be the biggest reasons that people don't go out, besides not committing the time to actually get their gigs. And I'm going to
add a third that I'm guessing might be underneath, and they might not even know it. And that is the vulnerability, the who am I to say, the, stepping in to own your message, own your power, own your voice, and really say, I want this. There's a lot of energetic stuff that goes on underneath that. But and I think it happens for people who choose to embrace video or going live as well. It's very similar when you and craft a talk and say, I'm speaking at, I'm going to be on this podcast. I am, it gives you some clout, right? But it requires some of the transformational folks. Most of us have had our own transformation. And so we have our own expansion and our own confidence and our own journey around being seen and heard. And so that's something, if you think I'm not ready, or there's all these other things that I need to do first, or I don't have time, those are very likely also some form of resistance. So really make a decision to embrace speaking or whatever your visibility platforms are going to be, and you don't need lots of them. I say you need email. I say you need speaking and or video live stream. You could pick one and some sort of social media presence. You don't need to be on all of them, but you need to be on some of them. So those, not knowing where to book gigs, feeling like, and not having time or not knowing how to book gigs, you answer all of those questions, right? You provide all of those services at SpeakerTunity, yeah?
Yes. Well, and
don't
one
worry,
of the
guys,
things,
we'll let you know how to find out about Jackie. We'll get there. Don't worry.
So one of the points that I think I didn't quite get to, and which is one of the things we're going to talk about, is another reason that people don't do it is because they don't know what to send. They don't know how to pitch themselves.
Right.
And so, obviously we have training programs like you alluded to that help you do that, and for speaking, for podcasts, for TEDx's, and for corporate. But there are some very basic tools that people need, and we can talk about those tools.
Yeah, I did promise to talk about those tools. So why don't we do that now? Like, what do you need? What are the basic tools?
Okay. So there's 3 things when you're booking yourself for speaking, and we'll talk a little bit separately for podcasts and other things. Okay. For when you're doing speaking, you need a proposal letter. Wow, that's interesting. You need a proposal letter that actually will encourage the booker to bring you in. And that letter has a couple of things. Initially, what is it that you're bringing to the audience that is their transformation? What is the outcome that they can expect? What is the problem you solve in the world? That's the most important message that you can convey in any of the materials that we're going to talk about. And so you really want to address that. Why this subject matter for this audience? And hopefully that this booker is right for the audience that is your ideal target market.
So that's just to revisit. There's a lot of people are always like, I got to figure out my target market, or line up my messaging with my target market, or I got to narrow my niche. So it is important work. It is work that is ongoing, right? So get the support, the clarity, the mentoring you need, and then pick something, stick with it for 90 days or a year, and it'll get clearer as you go. Yeah. Beautiful. I love that. What am I going to get? And that's really side note. Hello, we're in the visibility marketing and messaging space. That's for everything that you're putting out online. Right. You got to know how to put it in a proposal letter, and what's of value to your audience. Brilliant. What else?
So the next thing is, why you? What are your credentials? What are you bringing to the table that's going to make you the expert here? Whether you're the author of a book, whether you've had a certification, whether you've built this platform, whether you've had 1 million people through, whatever it might be.
Or transformational story or experience. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And then the next part is really what more detail as to what you're going to deliver. Just a little bit more detail as to what the audience's outcome is going to be. And then wrap it up with a call to action. And you've got 2 different calls of action. Either, would you consider booking me for your, event, your meeting, etc. And the other one is, can we have a conversation over Zoom to get better acquainted and see how I better fit into what your plans are? And so, but there are 2 additional things in that letter that are really important. Here is my speaker sheet. We're going to talk about that next. And here is my video. And so with the speaker sheet, you're looking at a beautifully designed 2-pager that speaks to why you are the superstar that you are. So on the front page is going to be your bio and headline that speaks to the problem that you solve in the world, 2 testimonials, preferably from people who have booked you. Now, if not, you can use those from your clients, from people who've heard you on stage, but ultimately you want to replace them with people who booked you. And then on the back side, you want to have, and I highly recommend 3 presentations, not just 1, because if you only have 1 arrow in your quiver, it had better be a bullseye. If you give people choice, you are going to increase the ratio of your ability to get booked. it's going to, go, the odds are going to go up.
And I hop in on a pro tip for folks, because I use that very concept a lot. So what we focus with all of our clients at the beginning, we help you craft your highest transformation offer, really that one, your secret sauce, your special, that thing you want to do all day long, every day. And we help you find those 3 core promises, right? And then you can create all your what do they get? What does your best client get from those 3, from that highest offer, the 3 core things that they get? And once you have that language dialed in, then you have 3 talks, right? You have endless Facebook Lives. So that's just a little pro tip on, what would you talk about? This is, and just like narrowing your niche, don't get stuck there, and don't change your niche every 90 days until you think, because it takes a little bit of time. Get some support, some messaging support, right? But then once you have those 3 core promises, you can have a talk on each one. I often say I'm a voice, video, and visibility expert. So I have talks on voice, I have multiple talks on video, and visibility, right? I talk and teach about that all day long. So once you don't have to have a new talk, or, I have several clients who are like crafting a new talk for each audience, and you don't have to do that. So just a couple of, extra, you really want these 3 topics, guys.
Well, and depending, you might be talking to 2 or 3 different audiences that are your core audience. So you can really tweak it toward, if you, the subject matter for each of those audience, like you talk
you
to
can customize each talk, but you don't have to create a new talk for everything, right? Beautiful.
Exactly.
Love that. Speaker sheet.
And then, and of course, that's something we help people with. And the next thing is your video. So with their video, you only want 3 to 5 minutes of great video of you presenting. They don't need a fabulous sizzle reel at this level. They simply need to see how good you are. And if you can give them something that shows you being dynamic, and preferably on a live stage. Yes, you can use digital video from some presentation as an alternative, but you're much better off when you can show them from a live stage. And it's good sound, good lighting. Don't shoot it on your phone. Get a professional videographer, or speak at an event where you can.
That's just another pro tip, right? When you speak at an event, talk to the audiovisual guys or the event host and be like, can I get a copy of that? Right. And, or invest in that. Yeah. Beautiful.
And so then you put that on a YouTube or a Vimeo, and then include that link in what you're sending. So those are the 3 tools for speaking. Now let's just talk briefly about radio shows and podcasts. You're going to do a pitch letter that's going to be more extensive than the proposal letter. And that's going to lead with a hook. Something really interesting, whether it's your hero's journey story, whether it's the problem you solve in the world, whether that you're keying on a trend, whether you're keying on a holiday, whether you're keying on, a zeitgeist that's going on in the world. There are tons of different hooks that you use to get their attention. Then you talk a little bit more about, what the subject matter of your interview is going to be. Then your, why you, again, and you can go into more detail there, and then much more detail as to what the subject matter is going to be, and then wrap it up with, asking them to book you for the show. Now, you can also use a podcast introductory sheet. And that's a 1-pager. It's like a speaker sheet, but it's not 2 pages. And it has the bio and testimonials from other people who booked you in the media world. And then it will also include 3 to 5 topics that you speak on, as opposed to extensive back page that has all the speaking. It's just 3 to 5 topics that you cover, and the host can pick any one of those or all of them to speak to you about. And you can either send it individually with a little link, with a little introductory email, or you can actually attach it as an addendum to your proposal pitch. And if you're pitching yourself for summits, one of the things is the majority of summits these days are you fill in a form. And some people still say, well, send me your information. So we recommend doing a mini media kit. And that mini media kit is not as extensive as you would send to a host of a show to give them all the background on you. It's just 2 pages, and it gives a 3-paragraph bio, 3 to 4 paragraphs on what you're presenting and a title, 3 or 4 paragraphs of your free gift giveaway and its title, your social media, and your website. You can get it all onto one page. And then that serves as your copy, paste when you're pitching free summits as well.
When you're filling out those damned forms.
Yeah.
I do a lot of summits, and so we've touched a lot on a lot of detail here. Thank you for being so generous with all of this information. I have another pro tip for you guys. Side note: if you're doing all this work, that's relevant information for your website about page. All of this content can be repurposed, all of this clarity. And if you had to choose, if you're growing your business or you wanting to get past that 6-figure mark or to the next 6 figures, and you're at this transitional place, I would propose that getting out in front of people and honing this resource and asset and getting out in front of people and delivering live and getting that converting into people saying, yeah, I want your thing, and building your, what I would call your sales process, right, is going to help you create real revenue in real time. And then you can have take that to your website. So you may think, I need a website to be bona fide, and websites are super important, but they don't have to be in depth. If you have to pick, getting out in front of people on video and speaking are going to help you create revenue faster, likely, than the digital assets that are also an important part of your business. So that's just my 10 cents. All of this, you may be going like, oh, I need all of this stuff in order to be a speaker. One thing at a time. And all of it is building your message clarity, and all your marketing and all your visibility stuff is going to be better as you get these things dialed in. Right. So go back to the tip I gave you earlier about, crafting that highest transformation offer and selling it. You're going to get a lot of clarity out there, and all your other assets can grow as you go. But developing these tools as a speaker are going to help you grow your business in real time, in a different way than trying to get your digital assets to convert. Especially, I'm speaking to you as a coach, an entrepreneur, purpose-led, a healer. You're here to make this impact. And because we're so sensitive, heightened sensitivities, right? We're present to our emotions and expression. It's one of our superpowers, right? So, and people can feel that in the world today. And it's just, I think it's a mistake if we go all into like branding and digital assets and websites. Those are important, wonderful things. And taking the time to get clarity on these tools of, I talk about this, I speak about this, these are my core promises, is going to help your business grow faster, I think, in real time.
Well, and you could start with a basic website, but as you start getting these assets for speaking, like video from your presentations and your speakers,
you have stuff to put up there.
You can exactly. You have a page on your website that's dedicated to your speaking. So
good. So good. So we, what did I get everything? So we talked about tools. It's a lot. It sounds like a lot of moving parts, right? You guys, it sounds like a lot of moving parts. I'm going to check the comments here for those of you in the Facebook group. I'm not seeing any yet. So say hi if you're here, wherever you are, on YouTube or on our business page, or if you have joined us in the Power Up Your Presence community, you're going to get access to Jackie's info first. So there's a lot of moving parts, and Jackie's been doing this for a long time, but she has some very affordable levels of support, so you don't have to figure it out on your own. You guys hear me talk a lot about you don't need another course or a training, but you do need to know how to book gigs, right? And so Jackie, do you want to tell us a little bit about maybe the silver membership? I think is like a really great way to get started. I know you have lists of where to start and tools to help people get these speaker tools put together. So tell us a little bit. Hey, Krista, thanks for chiming in.
So our mission is to make your life easy. So you don't have to do the research. We've done the research for you. So in the silver membership for SpeakerTunity members only, you can see the picture there on the bottom of my screen. Yes. Members only gives you a choice of one of these 40 B2B radio shows and podcasts every single month. 40 life-enhancing radio shows or podcasts and videocasts every single month. And that includes personal growth, spirituality, health and wellness, women's empowerment, relationships, seniors, mindset, anything that improves people's lives. 120 speaker leads all over North America. That includes Canada. Everything we do includes Canada. That gives you, it's really for a transformational leader. And this will give you leads at meetings. Whoa, did I just lose you?
No. There's a little bit of a delay, but we heard you. Gives you meetings. Yeah.
Got it.
I'm checking the comments too.
Okay. So gives you meetings, business meetings all over North America. It gives you evergreen conferences. It gives you TEDx. It gives you spiritual centers. It gives you bookstores, retreats, and associations.
So pause. Oh my God, breathe. You guys, there's a ton of opportunity here.
And we're not done.
I know. Keep going.
So the next one is virtual summits. If you want virtual summits where the only people that have gathered them in one place, we'll give you anywhere between 20 and 40 new virtual summits every month and 20 to 30 new giveaways that you can participate in, because many summits have a minimum list size, and you need to build your list with those giveaways to qualify for some of the summits. Not all of them, but some of them do. So we give you both. And then the last thing is we'll give you 4,000 conferences every month to choose from. Conferences that have issued calls for speakers, and they are looking right now in 60 different categories. So you can go right to the ones that are right for your whatever it is that is of interest to you. So in this product, you actually have a choice of one of those 5, and then you'll get featured also in our speaker showcase where bookers can find you.
So if your head's like, I want to speak, and it's worth checking out, just pick a list, like what speaks to your heart, what lights you up. You get to the entry-level membership. They choose one of these lists. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And it's like 3 months. It's very affordable. And then you can grow from there. Do you want to touch briefly on some of the other services that you guys have? I know you provide services for the people who really don't have time, and
yes.
Just what else would be available if somebody's really looking, they're already speaking, maybe they've got some stuff going on and they just want to go big, leverage it, to touch on some of the other things that are available. We don't have to go into detail, but let them know.
Well, first of all, if you're interested in TEDx, we have that TEDx directory.
Super powerful.
We also have regional directories if you just want to really market heavily in your own region.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, locally. We also have niche specialty directories. If you just want to be talking to the meetings in your niche all across North America, we have 60 directories in that space. Now, let's talk about your graphics. So you heard me say that we do speaker sheets, we do podcast sheets, we do speaker handouts, book flyers, promotional lead promotional lead magnet books, and we'll do conference roll-up banners. We'll also help you with the slides. We have 3 or 4 different ways to help you with slides. Now, I think you may do that. We can also just up-level somebody's existing slides.
Yeah, I don't love to get into the slides. I had a background when I was an actor in New York City. I had a temp job at Goldman Sachs. And so I found myself making PowerPoint presentations for, little baby bankers. So that's not what I do. I love to help with the messaging. So I help you craft those talks in a way that has them clarify those high core promises, and create all your marketing and messaging. And so really, I don't go into any of the logistics like you do at all. I would rather not. For my highest level clients, sometimes I just get in there and push up my sleeves. But I'm thrilled to bring you as a resource. And I think you also said that you even have a relationship with a virtual service, a virtual assistants who could go out and book these things for you.
Yes. That's a book for you. Virtual assistants is our strategic partner. You can retain them for 20 hours a month, 40 hours a month, and 80 hours a month. You take the directories or the conferences, they'll fill in all the conference forms for you so that you just don't have to do the work. Now, these are not agents. I want to tell you, they're not professional agents. What they are is virtual assistants that would do the work that you would have to do yourself.
Or that you would have to train your VA to do, because they specifically know the drill on helping you get speaking gigs. So Jackie's got a lot going on, you guys. She's got a lot going on. If you're If you have, speaking, you're right there, almost ready to go. It's certainly worth checking out her what she has available. If you have those 3 core promises, and you've been doing some lives, and maybe you've got a master class or a webinar that you're developing, or you developed, or if you're already speaking, at the very least, getting one of these directories and taking a look at it to at this entry level, I think it's a really powerful tool. I'm thrilled to bring it to you guys. Actually, I'm going to put a link up so that you can go check it out yourself. And I think this has like the several different levels of membership. I know Jackie is an awesome real person. So if you have any questions about what it is or whether it's for you right now, just, pop an email into their here is, let's make sure that posts. I think it's going to post. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll come over and post it later. Come join the Power Up Your Presence community on Facebook and get all kinds of good free love to grow your business, share your message, and make the impact that you're called to make in a thriving business with all the income you want to have the business and the life that you want. That's what we talk about here. And we bring you cool people like Jackie. So there is the link for you to go check out. Anything else that you want to say? Parting words of wisdom for those looking to up-level their speaking or get speaking?
Well, the first thing I want to say is if you don't quite know, you can, when you go over to SpeakerTunity, you're going to see a lot of options. And if you don't quite know what's right for you, you can schedule a meeting with Kelly O'Hara, who's our speaker relations director, and she will help walk you through what you might need.
Perfect.
So,
and as a member of my community, if you have any questions, you can message us, message me, comment below. We're going to get you answers for sure. We're happy to help you sift and sort and connect you with the right person.
And the last thing I would say is don't hide your light under a bushel. Don't wish and hope and, pray that those speaking gigs are going to come to you, because they won't. You'll get a few, but if you want to make speaking a marketing strategy that's effectively building your business, you really need to make a commitment to it.
Yeah, like everything. And I'll say the same for your business. You got out there and you're a healer or you're a coach and you got your certification, you've had a life-changing experience and you want to grow a business, and you may know that you're a master and you have something to give, but the marketing and the visibility and the business growth, maybe you haven't stepped all the way into that, and you don't have to figure out all the hows. There's a lot of support and people that can help you figure out how, but you are the only one who can step into the truth of who you are and decide and commit to having a real business that actually will reach and serve more people than you will ever know how, through your marketing, through your speaking, right? Through the goodness that you put out there. You'll touch lives that you will never, ever know. And your thriving business, where you actually get visible and create profitability, visibility to profitability, you know how to actually sell stuff and have people pay you and hire you to speak or to coach, whatever your jam, right? That is the best form of service you can bring to the world. Stepping into the full light and truth of who you are and sharing it unfiltered in an expansive way. And speaking is, one of the best tools you got going to do that. So that's my 10 cents. Jackie, I love you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, sweetheart. This was a joy, and my heart is filled with all the good things that you're doing for your community. And thank you for including us.
Yeah, thank you. It's an amazing treasure trove of resources. Don't get overwhelmed. Just ask for help. Take that first step and give voice to your vision. All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Thanks, Jackie.